Four. Pow, pow, pow. All right. It's Freedom Phil, live from the wasteland. Like, subscribe. What's the topic today? I gotta be honest, the way the left keeps on trying to compare deportation to sending people to camps, concentration camps, this is what they're saying. And they're trying to compare someone being deported to what happened in Nazi Germany. Where am I going with this? It's Freedom Phil, like, subscribe. Let's get into it, and always turn up the video speed because, videos, watch them faster. 1.75 if I choose to upload this. Not a channel for children, so if you're trying to farm out your parenting to a screen, you're a shitty parent. It's not my fault if your kids regurgitate something I say, and a lot of the people that follow me are robots or retards, and a handful of them are actually thinking people. That's part of the reason I have no problem flogging and flailing most of my followers, because most of them are fucking idiots. So let's get back into the topic. It's such loaded language to sit there and say that deporting somebody is like sending them to concentration camps. You know exactly what you're trying to allude to. You know, that's the sad part about it. And American history, never mind all the other genocides that happened everywhere else in the world, we never stop hearing about what happened in World War II. It was kind of one of those hurrah moments for America that we beat the Nazis and we liberated the people from the camps. Meanwhile, how many people on the left never say a damn word about all the deaths under communism? The multiple millions of people, God knows how many. I mean, some say it was only so many millions, some say it was 100 million. Who fucking knows? But it was a lot. Funny how we never hear about that. We never hear about the Armenian genocide. We never hear about all these other genocides that have happened worldwide. Nope. It's the one that is constantly shoved in our face. And, well, who owns Hollywood? That kind of explains why. They have a vested interest in making sure you know that's wrong. Meanwhile, what's going on in Israel and Palestine, which is none of my business. It's those two groups of people's business. But please don't ask me to be sympathetic to something when you're basically acting the same way to some degree. They constantly bring up, they're taking these people, these poor immigrants, these citizens, American citizens. No, actually, they're not citizens. They broke into our country, and a lot of them are committing fraud. I mean, what, you think that guy has a driver's license because it's real deal there? You know, what about the case where someone just shows up here, cranks out a kid, and they're like, well, it's totally legal. That's fraud. Let's be honest. And you know, people don't want to admit that, but yes, it's fraud. It's like, oh, so you cranked out a kid so you wouldn't have to go to work. Well, we got more than enough Americans doing that. These aren't citizens, and they aren't being sent to camps. Maybe a temporary detention facility where they go over the situation. And by the way, the ones that I find a stunning thing where it's like, okay, I could understand if it was some poor family being ripped apart, but even then, yeah, you've been here for how many years? Doing an under the table job, basically making it to where an American couldn't do that job for that price, therefore lowering the value of his wages. I mean, that's the most charitable example, but there's a lot of them where they're like murderers, PDF files, all sorts of SA types of people, criminals, and this is who you're defending. And then you'll hear them screaming, they're trying to set up the camps. Well, they may not, they're detention centers now, but yeah, we're not saying it's Dachau. Yeah, but you're alluding to it. You're dog whistling to that. And what are you really saying, Democrats? That their home countries are concentration camps? Are you saying if someone was Somalian and deported, that Somalia is a concentration camp? Are you saying if someone was Mexican or Guatemalan or whatever, that those countries are concentration camps? Oh, I thought we were all just so tolerant and accepting. Apparently, if you're not living in a first world nation like America, everywhere else must just be a concentration camp. I know they breed to the point where they're like rats running over each other in a sewer at times. I'm talking about you, India. I mean, by God, can you guys get some garbage service? But this is the thing about it. Yeah, if you think someone being sent back to their home country is sending them to a concentration camp, then you're either fucking retarded or a piece of disingenuous sack of shit. Just And by the way, shit has value. To try to sit there and compare someone being deported to the ovens. Are you fucking kidding me? And by the way, the reason I know so much about what happened in World War II, particularly on the German side, is because I had one particular teacher, and I think he was German Jew, and he was all about wasting our time, constantly telling us about the history of it. He was all about the Russian theater and the German theater and the war over there. He didn't talk so much about D-Day, but he was all about that. I think he was either a German with guilt, or he was a German Jew, and he wanted to make sure the next generation understood this. Meanwhile, we heard very little about the Japanese theater. I never stopped hearing about that shit. So trying to compare a situation where someone was dumping Zyklon B into a shower room, the louse thing, to someone getting sent back home. You're trying to say that them being sent back to their home country, where their own people are, where they grew up for thousands of years, is equivalent to the ovens? The fuck is wrong with you Democrats? And by the way, the one group of people who should be coming out right now and just flailing and flogging the Democrats is the Jewish people. Oh, is it convenient for you to let them use this, to further a Democrat agenda? I'm always amazed. In fact, by the way, I'm actually really not amazed that the Jewish people are aligned with the Democrats. It's better to be a big fish in a little pond than a medium-sized fish or a tiny fish in a giant pond with a lot of big fish. So they're the biggest fish in the little pond. But for fuck's sake, after all the years of force fucking people to hear about this stuff, how many movies, how many stories, and turn on the news. There's poor Christians and Jews coming together. There's poor old Jewish women in some Russian country or some poor country. It's such a fucking scam. By the way, Goldman Sachs, all these different companies that, insurance companies, politicians, weapon manufacturers, you can't fund a food box for these poor, starving Holocaust victims. And by the way, I think it's kind of disgusting, but I can respect how good of a scam it is, because your whole fucking life in America, you've been told that this is the magic tribe, and they're so special, and what happened to them, never forget. For you to just let the Democrat Party run what happened in World War II through the mud, just basically be like trying to compare someone being deported to the camps and the ovens, just shows you that there is no fucking line there is no moral line that Democrats have. They don't. And this isn't your old school working class labor style Democrat. This is not that. This is not even close to that. You by the way, you people, you are now basically Republicans, whether you know it or not. How many people back in the 90s that were Democrats were anti-abortion? Or they were abortion, but only in the most extreme situations? How many of them were for the working man? Now what is the Democrat Party? Elitist tech bros and rainbow-haired freaks that are out screaming on the streets. I remember the union parties. I remember the party that was all about helping the little guy. I don't know if you've noticed, but the same party that talks about helping the little guy just squanders money away on scams, whether it's foreigners in any damn state that's blue, and probably red states as well, anywhere they can get away with it to buy votes. Man, those homeless people in LA, how many billions of dollars did you squander away? Some guy just sailing into the sunset, waving by. It's like, we've already transferred the money to some Cayman Island banks. There is no fucking line with this party anymore. And I don't know what is going to be the come to Jesus moment for that party. But you people are so fucking up your own ass to sit there and try to compare someone being deported back to their home country where they speak the language. They likely have family, friends, and they grew up there. They understand the lingo. Comparing their home country to the ovens? The fuck is wrong with you? I don't know, man. It's pretty weird in a world where I never thought the Republicans would look like the sane choice. As a laid-back libertarian, that I look over at the Republicans and I'm like, wow, We live in a world now, we live in a bizarro world where now the Republicans seem like a sane choice. The people who believe in an invisible man in the sky and that magic tribe from the desert are the special people. Ooh. It's funny because I actually like a lot of, fiscally conservative policies. I do. I like the idea that if you work, you should keep your own money. And I used to like the Democrat Party when it was about, hey, man, just let people be and let them live their lives as they want to. I keep telling you guys, America is a fucking two-party system of not good options. It's just which wad of used toilet paper has more shit on it every 4 years and 2 years when it comes to governors and Senate races. Which wad of toilet paper has less shit? We don't get the clean option. We don't get the bidet option where we don't even need the toilet paper. We get this clogging up your pipes, just like government. You want a good example of that? Go drive the freeway sometime. A 2-lane, 4-lane freeway, but 2 lanes. And you get 2 of those trucks out there. And one of them decides, I'm going to pass you. And he can only do 1/10 faster than the guy in front of him. There's your government. Just like a bunch of toilet paper clogging up the pipes. Which wad of used toilet paper has less shit? Likely I'll live long enough, maybe, who knows, I've lived one hell of a life, to see America go back to where the Republicans are now assholes again, and now the Democrats are the sane ones. Maybe I'll see this teeter-totter of sewage a few more times in my life. Well, they strap you to the middle, and there's a bucket of shit on either side. Don't you love the middle ground when both parties have to fight for your vote? They have to fight for your vote. So it's not one side takes too much power and the bucket of shit goes one way, and then the other side's trying to fill up their bucket of shit, and then it goes the other way, and then you're just the good public people covered in fucking sewage. But Democrats trying to compare deportations to concentration camps and the ovens? I'm sorry. I mean, transing people's kids was bad enough. And I think, honestly, it was probably worse. It's kind of like what they did back in the 90s to kids. Here, have some Ritalin. And then Adderall and whatever pill. Here, take a pill. Side effects may be translation, everything, including death. Oh, don't worry what it does to your kids in the long run. I think that's really and I have to wonder, would the Democrats be out of favor right now if it wasn't for the trans people in women's sports? Which one was it? I know it was both. Was it them trying to mess with your kids? Notice how they didn't really go for the pets. You'll know the world's really gone wackadoo when they start trying to make it, all relationships are equal. What do you mean by that? As they're looking over at their collie. Democrats, fucking anything that moves and some things that don't. I swear to God, dude. Yeah, I mean, they pushed it far enough, but man, I guess when you've gone that far, you know what? Maybe I should give the Democrats just a little credit. Just a little credit. When you've already went this far, fuck it, YOLO. Let's just throw everything. Everything. Whatever we got. Let's just use whatever. Let's see, throw whatever at the wall and see what sticks. That's fucking crazy. There's a jet out there. Can you see that? I don't know if I can get that on camera. There's a jet out there doing a fucking loop-de-loop. Out in the middle of the wasteland. Oh, that's fucking insane. That's awesome. Anyhow, I gotta go hang the laundry up. Went down to the river and washed my laundry. Gathered another 4 gallons of river water for domestic use. I gotta get shit set up. Luckily, hopefully tomorrow is gonna be just as dry as today. I wanted to get out to the river earlier, but there was a couple over there hanging out. And I was like, fuck, man, I don't want to leave my dog here. They're like, you left your dog? Yeah, the same as everybody else. I left my dog at home. And I rolled down to the river and filled up my jugs. Even took a bath down there. Fucking good times. Really missed my old spot up on the hill. It was way closer. I could just hoof it with my backpack. Anyhow, Freedom Phil, like, subscribe, take it easy, and peace. All right, let's read comments for a second. Water your water your yard. Oh, fuck, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, I think this area only gets anywhere on a good year 8 inches of rain, on average 6. And mind you, if I had the right setup, I could live with that. That's funny. Yeah, I agree. Send them back. Yeah, it's like a lot, just as a closing thought for people. 1 inch of rain on 1,000 square feet equals 600 gallons of water. So, like, if you built a decent garage or a setup, or even, hell, if you just had some tarps here and there set up, I only use drinking water-wise less than a gallon a day. And then for river water, maybe a gallon and a half or less. Sometimes a gallon and a quarter or less. You know, between only about a third of a gallon to bathe up on the hill up here. And a lot of that gets recycled for backwoods bidet water. And then some water for Doggakins over here. He loves rolling in the dust. But yeah. Anyhow, peace. Take it easy.